Rheinmetall, the German arms manufacturer, has outperformed just about everything over the last couple of years, ever since the Russia-Ukraine war has started. And me, as a war-loathing person, that bugs me quite a bit. And so today we will take a look on what Rheinmetall is currently cooking up and where the course is probably gonna be heading from here onwards. So stay tuned, we're jumping right in. So a German arms manufacturer, a weapons company called Rheinmetall, has outperformed just about every other company out there. Palantir, Nvidia, Bitcoin, you name it. We will take a look on how that came about, and if history can be any indication of future events, then a German weapons manufacturer becoming so powerful is never a good sign. But I will not go there in this video, because otherwise this video would be getting way darker than it already is. So we'll spare that for now. And I don't know about you, but to me it really seemed like this crazy, wild rise in Rheinmetall stock has come as, first of all, a bit of a surprise, and secondly, it was kind of flying under the international radar. And I'm gonna show you what you missed out on in case you missed that whole Rheinmetall story. And for this, we're jumping straight into our long-term chart with our analysis, which we will dive into in just a second. But first of all, so where did we come from? Starting all the way back in February of 2022, so just a short days before the war of Russia and Ukraine has started, we have been sitting at roughly just shy of 90 euros in the stock. And ever since we have seen 1600% almost in the peak. And over here on this chart, it is a little small, but as you can see here, we have, as of yesterday, already established a new high in days and weeks where every single other index out there, every stock out there almost, is struggling. Rheinmetall already, just days after this violent crash last week, Rheinmetall already has printed a new high, sitting now at 1600% total over the last 3 years. That is absolute altcoin territory. Those numbers do just not occur in stocks. This is mad. And I really do feel we need a bit more of perspective on that. And so that's why I have pulled up a few high performers. Let's, for example, start with Bitcoin. Sure, why not? So over this time frame, starting in February of 2022, right? I mean, you can see it already, right? Currently 130% up, delicious gains, but nothing. That's not just a tenth of what Rheinmetall did. All the way to the peak, 200% all the way to the peak, but still, Rheinmetall outperformed Bitcoin by a factor of 8. Sure, what else do we got? Ripple also a high flyer. So what did Ripple do then? February of 2022, we're in January still February. Let's take this real down peak here. I mean, currently, again, just 200% all the way to the top. 400%, a mere 4x, while Rheinmetall did 16. I mean, we don't even need to look at NASDAQ. There's no gain in doing that. But Nvidia, another huge high flyer, which you obviously know, February of 2022. Let's maybe even take this low here in March, February of 2022, 600% all the way to the top. Current levels, 400%. Cute. Nothing compared to Rheinmetall. What about Palantir maybe? Palantir is a pick that we have been particularly proud of, because in our Tech 33 package, which we offer on our website, link by the way down in the description below, Palantir has been the strongest position and strongest addition to our model portfolio, which we also share with every one of our customers in recent years. And we have actually gotten into the stock of Palantir right at the very, very low. So we have incredible strong performance at Palantir, close to 1000%. So another 10x gains in a stock, which you could also brag about if you had been a subscriber back then. But we don't have invented time travel yet. So the best thing that you can only do now is becoming a subscriber as of today. Link down in the description below, as just mentioned. But Palantir, all the way back from February of 2022, we said, right? January, February. Let's again do Palantir a solid and maybe start from this very, very low peak here all the way to the top. We have seen 1200%. Okay, now we're somewhat comparable. Yes, In the peak, 1200%, still shy of Rheinmetall's 1600. And again, on current levels, this is only 800%, so only half of Rheinmetall's performance. And we could continue this game for hours on end. Case in point, Rheinmetall's performance is unmatched over the last couple of years. And by the way, if it's your first time really hearing about Rheinmetall, we just recently also published an article on our website. Those articles are always free of charge, so you can dive into that article, learn a bit more about the company and what they're doing. But back to our analysis here. So we've just discussed these massive gains of 1600%, but where do we see the stock to move from here onward? And for that, I'll maybe firstly take you to the more imminent time frame, and afterwards we'll go to the long-term time frame. Let's just pull this a bit larger here. And here in the imminent time frame, then you see that we have concluded the stock to have undergone a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave upwards structure, leading to an overreaching wave 3 here in turkeys, going down to a wave 4, corrective of course, and then finalizing an overreaching wave 5 of an overreaching wave 5 of an overreaching wave 5. So we really are quite a bit advanced here in the stock, finalizing an overreaching wave 3. And ever since we have seen an A, rather shallow B corrective move so far, then obviously this huge crash with all of Trump's tariff drama taking the stock down from those levels roughly almost 30% in the peak, opening 25% down. But then, behold, are you kidding me? What has happened here? So on that day, when all the world was going crazy, when the full tariff drama hit, Rheinmetall, sure, they opened 25% down. But in a single day, in a single freaking day, remember, those are 4-hour candles. So we have to go all the way over here to measure it. So in a single day, they have recovered 28% total, closing the day even higher than before day's down peak. And I haven't checked every single company out there on the planet, but I'm pretty sure Rheinmetall is the only company that was able to do something like that on that wild and crazy turbulent day on the stock exchanges. And I mean, that's just completely wild. And if you're familiar with Elliott Wave theory, an C wave like this might to you look somewhat strange, but if you see what this stock is doing and how much power and dynamic the stock has, you might maybe understand why we have already yet concluded the C wave to be finalized, and why we conclude this to be the first step of an A corrective pattern. And so now we see the stock rising in an overshooting B wave. Of course, what else should such an energetic and dynamic stock do rather than establishing an overshooting B wave? And only after then we would see a final corrective C wave down all the way to levels of roughly €800. And again, we will finalize and specify a target zone over here in those areas as soon as we get further along. And only after this finalizing of this corrective move that has been in the making ever since, only then do we currently expect to really print higher highs. So as you see here, while I'll take you back again to the more overreaching time frame, to the more long-term time frame, you can see here our primary scenario. This is the scenario with those roughly $800 for the wave 4 corrective move. And only afterwards we will see a final wave 5 up leg to conclude then the overreaching wave 1 top. So if we really do see this wave 4 coming down all the way to those 800-ish levels, that would roughly be still another 100% gains up until this final wave 5 top of this wave 1. But obviously, as it is always a game of probabilities in the stock markets, we will also have here an alternative scenario, currently rated at a 30% probability that we have already yet seen the top. So this is why this also has this marking of an alternative wave 1 top already. And we would then see an alternative wave 2 low already in the making. But going back to the more imminent time frame, as these price developments get farther along, this alternative scenario of the wave 1 top already being in becomes more and more improbable. So this probability of 30% that I just showed you here on the overreaching time frame drops lower and lower every single day on current price levels. And already, even today, we have another alternative scenario here, but on the imminent time frame. So this was our long-term alternative scenario, and here we also have an imminent time frame alternative scenario. So even this super bullish alternative scenario has already a higher probability, rated currently at 34% probability. And for this alt scenario, we would then here conclude an alternative wave 4 to already be in. I don't really believe in that scenario, but that's also why we only have it at 34% probability. And that would, of course, in conclusion, mean that from here onwards, we would directly rise to new tops, and we would directly rise into that area of a wave 5 top of roughly, again, still 100% from those lows. So I hope that was somewhat helpful to you. I hope you learned something about this wild German company called Rheinmetall. And if you want to never again miss such opportunities in the market like here with Rheinmetall, you can check the link down in the description. We have over 200 assets, stocks and markets that we analyze on a daily basis, and where we will send out push notifications to you as soon as we become a subscriber on every single entry into the market, on new target zones, trading areas. And if you're just here for the free education and free value, of course, you can subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell notification so you will never again miss another video. We will scaling those videos up all the way to 5, 6, 7 videos a week, and already on X and Instagram we post daily, so tons of free value there as well. All those links likewise in the description down below. Up until then, take care, see you in the next one.